Faith Time is our weekly conversation on matters of faith, and joining us this morning is Kevin Mills with Loxley Church. Good morning to you, sir.
Good morning, Chad.
We wanted to talk about Easter. Really, one of the biggest traditions, the biggest holiday really in Christianity. What Easter traditions do you observe? You
know, it being Easter Sunday, I think today, of course, we'll be in church together with our church family. We'll have some great services there this morning. And then as a family, we typically gather together this day. We have a big meal. We look for folks in our church who don't have families.
Yeah.
Those college kids that are in town that didn't go home, we invite them into our home and we just have a big, celebration. We talk about Easter, we talk about the resurrection.
When we talk about Easter, another thing that we talk about are eggs. Why is there a connection between Easter and eggs?
You know, it's interesting. I did the research on that. It represents, I think, for the Christian, new hope, new life, this idea of Christ emerging from the tomb. The idea of painted eggs was interesting. Back in olden times, during Lent, eggs were forbidden as one of those fruits. So painting those eggs was this anticipatory moment that when you broke your fast at Easter, you were able to dig into those eggs.
So why does Easter sometimes feel like a second-tier holiday in Christianity, even though it's really the most important observance in the faith?
Yeah, that's a good question. You know, I think that Easter gets lumped into a lot of big things. Like, think about where we are in the Gulf Coast. We start out with the New Year, and then we go Valentine's Day, then we immediately rushed into Mardi Gras, then we go to Lent, we have St. Patrick's Day, sprinkle in a little spring break, and then for those teachers that are listening, you've got that summer break coming on the horizon. So Easter kind of gets lumped into all that. But I think it's a good question that causes us really to slow down and take a look at that.
How do you make Easter and elevate it to the importance that it needs to have?
You know, I think it's interpersonal. As a family, what we do is we make sure the kids understand why they're doing what they're doing, why we do Easter egg hunts, why we do the big meal, why we celebrate Christ's resurrection. But then on top of that, as a student ministry, what we do at the church is last Wednesday, students were given a packet with a sort of like a scriptural reference for each day, going from Maundy Thursday to Good Friday to Silent Saturday to Easter Sunday. So they were encouraged with their families to sit down and go through those scriptures to really pattern out what that means for us as believers.
Talking about Easter Sunday with Kevin Mills with Loxley Church. We'll continue this conversation in the next hour of News 5 this morning.